Cap fact: Stan Lee and Jack Kirby get some real history wrong. Starting in Tales of Suspense 63, Stan Lee and Jack Kirby started retelling some of the stories that had been told in comics from the 1940s. And the second of these was Tales of Suspense 64, and it retells one of Cap's first adventures. In those original stories from the 1940s, the US had not entered the war yet, and it appears that they maintained this idea in these retellings. For reference, it says right here that Poland has been invaded, but America is still at peace. So clearly, the US is not in the war yet, even though the threat of it is very much a presence. Now, I think this is good. I like how it maintains those roots of Cap being active before the start of World War II. But then they mess up a little bit with some real-life timeline. For in this issue, we see the reintroduction of Agent 13. Now, at this point, she had not been classified as being Peggy Carter yet. That would come much later. But she says that she's part of the Women's Army Corps, which I again think is cool bringing that in because Betsy Ross, who had been kind of the equivalent of Agent 13 back in the 40s, was also a part of the Women's Army Corps. The problem is they wouldn't have existed yet. The organization that would become the Women's Army Corps wouldn't exist until 1942, and in the beginning it was called the Women's Army Auxiliary Corps. I don't actually hold this too much against Stan Lee and Jack Kirby because, they're storytellers, not historians. It's just an interesting detail.